Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PUC Online Classroom. Today, we are moving on to Lesson C, Rules and Recommendations. So let's begin with the first activity, extreme sports. All right, when you talk about extreme sports, we focus on the sports that are very dangerous and, you know, but a lot of people love to try something like this, maybe some of you or maybe someone like me. Okay, so let's find out exactly what to do in this activity. So it's about listening, label the pictures with the correct words, then listen and check your answers. So right here you have to check first, check the picture, all right, and go to this, kind of labels or some kind of sports, and then you got a match. Okay, so the first one is bungee jumping, kite surfing, paragliding, rock climbing, skydiving, snowboarding, water skiing, white water rafting. Okay, so these are very interesting sports that I like to try. Okay, but of course they are really dangerous. Okay, if I have time, I would try one of them. Okay. All right, so in this activity, you're going to fill in, okay? So I want you to try first, fill in this kind of sports with the right picture before you listen and check your answer. Okay, of course you will listen and you will get the answer for sure. All right, so what about you? So which one do you want to try, or maybe all of them you are interested in doing or playing? I don't know, it depends. Okay, but to me, I love to try all of them. Okay, if I have time, if I have a chance. But this one I'm not interested in because it's something like dangerous. Okay, so what would it happen when we cannot use or probably turn this parachute on correctly, and that might be a problem. Okay, and then maybe we're going to die. Okay, so I don't want to try this. Okay, but of course these are very interesting and extreme sports. That's why you have to, if you want to try this, you have to be careful. Okay. All right, so let's go to number 2, first time snowboarder. That is a conversation. Okay, you have to listen to the conversation and answer to the question. Why does Sarah tell Kyle to stay in the beginners section? Okay, so you just listen to this conversation, and after this you can go on to part B, listen to the conversation between Kyle and his instructor. Why is Kyle uncomfortable? So you need to find out exactly from the listening. Okay, so there will be the answers right there. Okay, so once you finish part 2, okay, so we can move on to part 3, which is about grammar, modals for necessity and recommendations. As you can see right here, we have two different columns. One is necessity and the other one is recommendations. All right, so what we are going to talk about is necessity and recommendations with modals. So let's find out which modals we use with necessity and which modals we use with recommendations. So let's begin with necessity first. So we have must, have got to, and have to, and that is negative, doesn't matter. You can use a negative by adding not right here. And for recommendations, we have had better, ought to, should, or shouldn't. Okay, of course, this is a negative. And these are modals that considered to be for or considered to be a recommendation or are used with recommendations, and this one are for necessity. All right, and if you take a look at each of every one right here, of course they are slightly different, but in this case let me presume that they are similar in terms of necessity, okay, and recommendation. And if you talk about the difference of each individual, they are slightly different, but in this case let's make it the same. All right, or slightly, you know similar, or maybe similar. Okay, so again, whenever it's something that is necessary, then we use must, have got to, or have to. When something like a recommendation or it's just a good idea, then you can use had better, ought to, or should. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to do exercise. I would like you to circle the best travel advice, then compare with a partner. You don't have to, but you can just pick the right model for this situation. For example, Let's see the first one. You should or must get a passport before you go abroad. Everybody needs one. As you can see right here, needs. So it's about necessity. You cannot miss it. All right. Without a passport, you cannot travel, right? So that is about a necessity. So the answer must be must. Okay. So you can go through the sentence and analyze the sentence before you choose the answer. All right. So you can do from number 2 to number 8, and after you finish, you can also try part B. Okay. What advice would you give? Complete a sentence with models for necessity or recommendations. Then compare your answers. All right, but you don't have to. Okay, you can compare with me. So you can just pick up, models for necessity and model for recommendation with this statements. All right. Okay, so I'm not going to focus on number 4 and number 5, and I think that's it for this lesson. Again, before I leave, I just want to talk about this model once again. So when you talk about necessity, we use with must, have got to, or have to. If you want to make negative, then you can say must not. You can say haven't got to or don't have to. All right. So for recommendations, we have had better, ought to, should. Okay, if you want to make a negative, you can say better not. You can say ought not to. All right. And should, we have shouldn't right here. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, everybody. If you have any questions, please leave your question in a comment below. All right, I will answer to your questions. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.